So, welcome everyone to the Frequency Soul Collective. My name is Beck McQuilty, and I'm really excited to be here today with you because I felt really drawn to talk on abundance. I know abundance is something that everybody strives for um, most days of their life in some way. Doesn't always have to be about money, which I love because it isn't always about money. Mine, particularly of late, has been more around my health. I knew that with the amount of travel that I do, that I really needed to pull my head in when it came to my health and bring in that abundance. And that's what I've done. So I'm really enjoying that journey. It was a little bit sort of challenging to start with, just getting out of old habits and back into the habits that I'm used to. But now that I'm well on my way, I'm just absolutely loving it. So it's amazing. So I'll just make sure that everybody is muted on this call. But if we have any questions along the way, I would ask you to please pop them in the chat as well. Before we started this evening, I was really drawn to my beautiful Esther and Jerry Hicks cards. They're called Money and the Law of Attraction cards. So I don't know if you've seen these cards before. They really are phenomenal. I don't pull them all the time, but when my guidance tells me to, that's when I do. So for those of you who don't know the work that I do, I'm a frequency medicine practitioner, I'm a kinesiologist, and a psychic counselor as well. So I'm medically intuitive and all of the things. So when guidance tells me to do something, I was going to say I've learnt to do it, but they would be laughing very hard right now because I don't always. But we should always listen to our intuition, right? So the card that I've pulled tonight is called, at the front it says, I can deliberately choose to feel better now. And I think that that's a really beautiful message because there are always days that don't necessarily run smoothly, that things just don't go to plan, or they're overwhelming, or, someone's disappointed you or annoyed you or whatever the case may be. But remember, in any given moment, you have the ability to change that. So the card reads, not only does the thought you are choosing right now attract the next thought and the next, and so on, it also provides the basis of your alignment with your inner being. As you consistently and deliberately think and speak more of what you do want and less of what you do not want, you will find yourself more often in alignment with the pure positive essence of your own source. And under those conditions, your life will be extremely pleasing to you. I absolutely love that because you will find when you start to get on a positive vibration, you will start to attract positive things. Now, how do you do that if your day is kind of started a little negatively? Sometimes it's really hard to shift it from one extreme to the other, right? Where it could be a super negative, or you're in a bad mood, or whatever the case may be. How can you shift that to the other extreme of positive when you're in such a mindset? I find the easiest way is to find something really simple to either be grateful for, or that, like a memory that you love, an experience that you had. Maybe, sorry, that was my cat's tail. She's very needy and sits here and needs to be scratched the whole time that I'm on this Zoom. My animals actually, okay, thank you. That was what that was. She's like, hey, what about me? My animals make me so happy most of the time. And so just to actually pause for a moment and go and sit with them and play or pat them, or even just something that's super simple. Don't make it something complex. Don't try to find the feeling. Try to find a memory, a happy memory of which you can draw into and choose to lean into that, to actually really enjoy that experience and take yourself there, out of in that moment of where you are. So I hope that that makes sense, and I hope that that helps, because in any form of abundance of what you're wanting to create, in years gone by, when they talk about law of attraction, I remember back in the day, it was a long time ago when the whole law of attraction thing came out. I worked in the motor industry, and I remember a lady coming in and she bought this car, and on the day of delivery, she sat in the car and the salesman was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm manifesting. The money is going to come to me to pay for this car now." And he's like thinking, well, you better hurry up because I'm about to take you into the finance department so you can finalize this check. We've got to get this car on the road. Like, we've got appointments. Anyway, the lady didn't have the money and off she went with no car. And if you thought about law of attraction by reading the book back then, well, why didn't that work? And the truth is, it's not about what you say out to the universe, it's about how you feel. So if you're reading affirmations or saying something out loud and you don't feel in alignment with that, it is not going to come to fruition. So if that makes sense to you, drop a yes in the chat for those of you who are here live tonight, because I know that it's frustrating when you're trying to bring abundance in and it's not happening and you go, well, but I'm doing all the right things. But are you? Let's find out, right? Let's move on. So, what is abundance? Abundance is more than just financial wealth. It is a state of overflow in all areas of your life. It is the ability to receive and appreciate love, joy, opportunities, health, and prosperity effortlessly. True abundance is a mindset and an energetic frequency that can align with consciously. So the different types of abundance, and that's what I would love you all to really feel into tonight, is what is it that you're wanting to bring in? It could be financial, definitely, without a doubt. It could be a couple of them, but I would really, for the purpose of this, really love you to focus on something specific. Financial abundance, having enough wealth to live comfortably and give generously. Look at abundance of the finances and ask yourself, why do I want that? And why do I feel like I don't have enough of it now? Emotional abundance, feeling fulfilled, joyful, and at peace with life. Isn't that the goal? It's one thing to want the money and the this and the that and the material things, but can I tell you, none of that matters if you don't enjoy it. So go for emotional abundance first. Be happy where you are, because where you are, if you are happy, that will lead you to more abundance of other types. So that might be where you start tonight. Spiritual abundance, a deep connection with your higher self, the universe, or a higher power, depending on what your beliefs are. But spiritual abundance is phenomenal, particularly when you do have that relationship with, again, whether it be, the universe or God or whoever it is that you believe in. Relational abundance, so meaningful and harmonious relationships with others. Now, that doesn't just mean a partner. That means your friends, your co-workers, your teammates. You have relationships with all different people. It could be your boss. Having a good relationship with your boss is essential to happy life at work, right? Believe me, I've been there, done that. I've got a whole series going on that at the moment where I share a lot of what I experienced with a not so abundantly happy boss. Physical abundance. This is what I've been working with since January. Vibrant health, energy, and well-being. If you look at your self-talk and it's constantly negative, how can you possibly bring in the abundance of what you're wanting to feel and wanting to experience in your health if all that you feel is negativity? I remember being at the gym one day, this was years ago, and at this gym, there was a ladies section. So I was in the ladies section and I was, doing the treadmill. I was doing lots of cardio back in the day. I was doing the treadmill and I'd be on there thinking how unhappy I was with myself, how I was, in my opinion, at the time, overweight. I was only doing, 6.2 on the walking machine when other people were doing 7.8 and were running. Why wasn't I running? Why didn't I have the incline going? And then I'd move to the, not the stepper, the cross trainer. And I'd be on there going, I hate the cross trainer. This is horrible. And my knees hurt and this is not painful, but it's just uncomfortable and I don't like it. Anyway, and then I moved on to weights. And as I was doing weights, I'm thinking, I should be lifting heavier. I should be stronger than this. My arms should be more toned than that. Anyway, at the end of my 45-minute workout, I lay down to have a stretch. And as I laid down, I realized that for 45 minutes at the gym, I gave myself negative self talk the entire time. Can you imagine the impact that has, not only on my mental health, but on my physical body? And it was in that moment when I realized that I had been beating myself up for 45 minutes that I actually laid there and went, right, you're not moving off this mat for stretching until you can be nice to yourself. So I actually sat there and praised myself for being at the gym and for how amazing my efforts were. I knew that there were so many people that don't even go to the gym, that don't even bother. And here I was doing a workout and decided from that day onwards to be proud of myself. And I still do that to this day. I go to the gym most days when I can, if I'm not traveling or whatever the case may be. And I make sure that every time I'm at the gym, I give myself some sensational positive self talk. So that's physical abundance. Time abundance. Who wouldn't love some more time abundance? Some more balance in your life, feeling a sense of ease and flow in daily life without stress or scarcity. And the other word that comes to me there is overwhelm. I do get overwhelmed a lot. So this is something else that I want to work on is my time abundance. So the abundance mindset, shifting from lack to plenty. So focus more on what you do have now, not what you don't have. So again, look at what that looks like. You have, let's say, it's not about money and it is about health, that you have the money to be able to buy good fruit and vegetables, you know, good resources to be able to consume, good supplementation, whatever it is for you that you can look at as a positive for your health. That, I was driving home from the gym the other day and I was a little bit sore, and now I know why. I just got a x-ray of my spine. Looks a little bit like a slithering snake up my spine. And I wasn't complaining, but I was thinking about how sore my hip was on the way home, whether I'd sort of just twinged a muscle or something. And as I was driving, on the footpath was a man in a electric wheelchair. And as I drove past him, and in that moment, I just dropped immediately into gratitude for the fact that I have an able body to be able to drive to the gym, to be able to utilize my legs to work out, and how strong they are to carry my body. For the rest of that time on that drive home, I literally just dropped and allowed myself into that abundance mindset of gratitude. So it is catching yourself in those moments. And that's one thing that I really encourage you to do from tonight onwards, is to be mindful of your thought process and mindful of how you're thinking and what comes up for you. And there's no judgment here, by the way. We all have negative self-talk, but it's catching yourself when you do and shifting it to a positive. And that brings us to gratitude, acknowledging and appreciating even the smallest blessings, no matter how small it is. I feel like up until my early 40s, I never really was grateful for the really small things, the really, really basic things. I have a beautiful friend of mine. Her name is Dr. Sheila Day. And the thing that her and I have most in common is our love and appreciation for the smallest things in life. If you are with her and I, we're like, it's, when people say they get distracted by the shiny things, it's kind of like what her and I are like, except for the fact that what we're looking for is the beauty in everything. When we see something, we'll be like, oh my gosh, look how beautiful that tree is, or look at that gorgeous bird, or listen to that sound. And I remember being outside recently, and I think it was the kookaburras or something. Oh no, it wasn't. It was lorikeets. I was down near the beach, and the lorikeets, just on dusk, they're so loud. And I thought, how cool is that? So I recorded it and I sent it to her. I'm like, listen to this. Just starting to notice how to be grateful for more things in your life. And again, it's not about saying what you're grateful for, because if you don't feel it, it doesn't matter. I prefer you to be grateful for the tiniest thing that, some other people might not even think matters, than to try and pretend to be grateful for bigger things that you feel you should be grateful for. I hope that that makes sense to you. Be open to receiving. So let go of limiting beliefs that block you from abundance flowing in. And that's where belief really does come in. So when you're open to receiving, then you know that you're worthy. You know that you're worthy of whatever it is that you want. And trust and surrender. That can be a hard one sometimes. Have faith that the universe is always providing. There is absolutely such a thing as action, of course, in, whether it be in business or health or whatever. But there's also the art of allowing. And Esther and Abraham Hicks talk a lot about the art of allowing. And when I give you a good example of that, I'll give you more examples of my weight release journey. I've now shifted. Well, I weigh in again on Monday. I only weigh myself once a week. And at the last weigh-in, I was 6.1 or maybe 6.3 or something kilos I had released. But do I go and flog myself at the gym every day so I can shift the weight? No, but I do sometimes. I go as often as my body will allow me to. The other morning I woke up, I trained Monday and Tuesday. And Tuesday night, I was so sore that I was like, I am not going tomorrow morning, because I knew that the rest and a bit of a sleep in was actually better for my body than going back to the gym and absolutely smashing myself. So be really mindful that, that rest and allowing I could still be shifting weight while I'm resting. And in fact, if I'm super stressed and I'm pushing myself at the gym 7 days a week, the chances are I'm not going to lose weight because I'm stressed. Your cortisol and your adrenals would be firing like crazy. You will never lose weight in a scenario like that, right? So the energy and frequency of abundance. So everything is energy. And many of you may know that already, but many of you may not. And so when you understand that everything is energy, that everything has a frequency, that raising your frequency through positive emotions, thoughts, and actions attract abundance. So again, if you're mindful that everything is energy and you're thinking negatively, then what is it that you are attracting into your life? Have you ever experienced, I'm not even going to say have you ever experienced, because I know the answer. Do you know when you have experienced, a bad experience, like a long wait on a phone call, and then the person on the phone call wouldn't help you and they were rude or whatever the case may be, and you took on that frequency, you took on that energy, and you ran with it. And then what happens? More negativity and more negativity. Actually, something funny happened to me yesterday. I was at the shopping center at the grocery store. And if you spend a certain amount, you get like these little cards that the kids collect. And my daughter always likes to collect those things. It doesn't even matter what they are or if she's into them. She just likes collecting them. And the ones that she doesn't have, she'll always give to her friends at homeschooling or whatever the case may be. And usually, well, always, towards the end of these promotions, they just want to get rid of them, right? So if you're entitled to one little card or something, you usually get a whole handful because they just want to get rid of them. So yesterday, and you have to spend $30 to get one card at the beginning. That's how it works. So it's almost the end of this promotion, and I was doing just a little bit of, I just had to grab a couple of things, and I had my mum with me, taking her to doctor's appointments and running her around. And so we go to this supermarket, and she gets a few things, and she doesn't know how to use the self-scanner thing. So I do that for her, and she spends about $17. And then I do mine, and I spend about, 15 or more. So it adds up to $30. So I walk up with my two receipts to this lady and I say, may I please have a card? I don't expect her to give me a handful, but whatever. Be good if she did. Most of them do. And she turns around to me and says, no, sorry, you have to spend $30. And I said, but I did spend $30. I just have them on two separate receipts. And she says, well, that doesn't count. Now, anybody else would have just given me the cards, right? Now, I had a choice in that moment because she was obviously either not having a very good day or she just wasn't a great energy, let's say. And I just thought, do you know what? I kind of shook it off and I was like, I'm not going to allow that to affect me because I could have. And that would have set a tone for my entire day, but I chose not to do that. So be aware that when you meet that type of energy, you can feel it. Your body doesn't lie. Your energy doesn't lie. One thing people don't like about me, I'm going to be super honest with you, I can see right through people. So if people aren't genuine or authentic, energetically, I can see right through them and they can see me seeing through them. It's not usually a very kind of comfortable experience, but feel into it because when you do, you will really notice and you start to listen to that and you decide to live your life by that. I can assure you, if you did just that tonight, that was the only thing that you took off today's call, that will change your life. They talk about that gut feeling. Always go with your gut feeling and trust it. Trust it because it is you. Yeah. And then techniques to raise your vibration. So meditation, sound healing, bioresonance therapy, which is something that many of us specialize in, and high frequency foods. Now, you don't have to incorporate all of those things, but I know for me, one of the things that I love to do, I had quite a lot of stress toward the end of last year, and I went and had spinal flow. Now, spinal flow is amazing for me because my spine is a bit skew-if, but the spinal flow practitioner that I go to, so sorry, that was I hope you didn't hear that in the background. That was very loud, but that was my cat knocking something off my desk. So I hope that you didn't even have to hear that. But she also does sound healing. And so for me, it's not just about a physical healing of my spine. It's actually about me being able to relax and just let my energy drop into the experience. Sound healing is absolutely phenomenal. And that's where many of you, even just music, listening to music that you love, if you're feeling a bit off or something like that, have a playlist that is specifically music that you just love, that just no matter what is going to put you in a good mood. If you have a song like that, drop it in the chat for me because maybe we can get some ideas. I know for me, what's one of my songs? Oh, I have so many and I can't even think of one. Wilson Phillips is definitely one. Although that was mine and my sister's song, but it gives me happy memories of her and I singing it together. My sister passed away just over 12 months ago, but that song for me is still like such a high vibration song. And Wilson Phillips are really cool. So if you have a song, we would love to know. Celebration, yes. Oh my gosh, I love that song. And that's one of my, you think about when people start to tell you their songs, you start to go, oh, I love that song. Absolutely. I danced to Celebration many years ago when I was growing up as a dancer. There are so many. Titanium. Oh, hands down. Absolutely Titanium. I love, love, love. It is a brilliant song. In fact, my daughter Addison and I, we love to listen to the soundtrack of Pitch Perfect because we love a cappella. And those movies are so fun. Just listening to their songs are absolutely brilliant. So if ever you're feeling off, Be mindful of that and work on raising your own vibration. Now, this is really interesting because many of you may have seen this before, but some of you may not have. This is the chart of emotional frequency. So on the right-hand side is the state. On the far left-hand side is the vibration, because remember, everything runs at a specific vibration. So let me ask you, where do you feel? And then you've got the levels. So for example, down the bottom, we've got shame and humiliation, all these feelings like guilt and blame and despair and regret and grief and fear and anxiety. And they're all the yucky ones, right? But you think about when you feel that, what the vibration is that you're resonating at. Very, very low vibration. So when people say they're a low vibe kind of person, that's actually what they're referring to. Some of you may even know this, and some of you may have seen this chart many, many times before. But this is something that I refer to regularly, and it's a good self-check. Because if you're down in fear, that is not a good vibration, particularly if you're wanting to build a business. Like if you're in business and your main vibration is fear and you're wondering why you're not attracting what you want, there's your reason. If you have imposter syndrome and you feel guilty, there's your reason. If you're embarrassed, like, oh, you're doing a business that, is you feel in some way underlying is embarrassing, there's your reason. So your job is to raise your own vibration. I did a course many years ago called Love and Above, and I loved that. I thought that was such a good saying, love and above. But even if you kind of look at the more like neutral ones, like even being neutral, then you start to trust, willingness, acceptance, things when you can reason, then you're kind of raising that vibration, yeah? Then you get to love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. Well, enlightenment, I'm not so sure that, that's debatable whether you completely get to enlightenment in a physical human body. But hey, that's the goal. And if you're on your way there and you only ever get to peace, well, I say good for you. So if that makes sense to you and you totally resonate with that, drop a 1 in the chat, because I would love to, sometimes these are these aha moments that you're on this call for a reason tonight. And if you're watching the replay, you are watching the replay for a reason as well, right? So be mindful that when you feel crappy within yourself, be like, oh, where am I kind of sitting? I'm sitting in regret. I really, regret doing that, da, 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 da. And yet you're trying to be at the gym, or or you're blaming someone for doing something and you're at the gym trying to do a workout. Those two things don't match. I'm not sure that I'm ever in joy when I'm at the gym, but for those who have ever trained with me, which is probably not any of you, I know this is going to come as an enormous shock to you, but I'm the last one that walks in. I walk in with my coffee. I walk in with my water. I'm usually like listening to some high vibe thing on my phone, like Abraham Hicks or something like that on my way in. And, I'm hugging people and kissing it. I'm disrupting the class. I'm talking. I really try not to, I promise you. But I love to try and have fun at the same time, unless it's burpees, and then I'm down on the lowest. I don't know that I'm down at humiliation, but I'm down wherever the thing is that says I hate burpees, right? It's not a good vibe. But we laugh about it, we make a joke of it so that it becomes fun. Yeah. So you can Google one of these. If you just Google the chart of emotional frequency, there is a ton of different versions of them. They're all very, very similar. But I wanted to show this to you tonight just so that you can be aware of your frequency and your energetic vibration from a moment to moment. So tools, let's talk about tools to attract and maintain your abundance. Affirmations and mantras. I am worthy of unlimited abundance. Now, I like to be more specific when I do my affirmations. I'm not going to lie. I like to be specific and I like to do a lot of them. But if you want to keep it really simple, I would find one that you really vibe with, something simple that you can accept. Like, you don't want to be like, I am worthy of earning $2.5 million a year. If you don't believe that, you've just counteracted your own affirmation. It has to be start with something simple, you know, uh, go sort of slow and low and slow in the beginning. Yeah. Put it on a post-it note and put it on your mirror in your bathroom. Or if you're like me, I buy chalk pens and I draw on my mirror all the time. I have probably 3 or 4 affirmations on my mirror that I read to myself every single day. Visualization, picture yourself already living in abundance. My example of that is I have to keep a diary for a particular case that I'm involved in at the moment. And when I write about that, none of it is positive. And it actually makes me feel really yucky. And I realized that I wasn't doing it every morning, but I was doing it, let's say, 3, 4 mornings a week. And I would write this out, my experiences and this and that, all really negative stuff, not nice stuff to write or have to relive in my head. And as I would finish, I would think, I feel really crappy. So I'm like, I don't want to feel crappy 3 or 4 mornings a week. I don't want to feel crappy at all. How can I counteract this? So, because I love stationery and any excuse to buy stationery, I went and bought myself another notepad. Yes, I did. And now I have a positive, I don't like journaling, by the way. All the counseling and stuff that I've had through the years, they're like, you should journal. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. But what I love doing is visioning forward. And I have had so much joy in doing that. If I want a specific outcome, I will write down exactly what that looks like I have it right now. There was one morning where I felt like, oh, I don't actually want to write today. I can't really be bothered, but I opened the book and there's a blank page. So I started drawing like the plans of my dream house. This is your dream journal. What are you creating for you? What are you bringing in for you? What are you telling the universe that you're bringing in, that you want? Law of attraction. What you focus on expands. But remember, when it comes to law of attraction, it's not about what you say, it's about how you feel. Generosity and giving. Give freely, and abundance will return to you. I love this one. I could talk about this all night. I won't, but in a new project that I've created, one of my biggest things is about giving back. And I've actually created stickers with beautiful sayings on them for when I either buy someone something or pay for their coffee or whatever it might be, that I can just give them this little sticker to know that they matter. And because you just never know what someone might be going through, you really don't. And just to have a kind gesture for someone, or do a hamper up for a charity or whatever that looks like for you. Everybody is different and everybody has different passions, yeah? But do what feels good to you to be able to give back. Feng Shui and space clearing is a great one. Clear clutter to invite fresh energy and opportunities. That's really important. And again, journaling. I don't even like the word journaling, but hey, if that's your jam, go for it. But for me, I don't know what I call it. Visioning forward. It's a visioning forward book. So that's what I do. I don't journal. So overcoming blocks to abundance, limiting beliefs. I don't deserve this. It's the first thing you think sometimes, right? You can replace that with I am worthy of abundance. Fear of change. Woo! Trust the expansion brings new blessings. Scarcity mentality, shift that from, and this is something I train many of you who know me. I bang on about this all the time. You will never, ever, ever hear me say, I can't afford something. I might have $2 in the bank, but you will never hear me say that I can't afford it. Don't ever say that, because the universe hears, I can't afford that. I've got no money. All of those sayings are a hard no, hard no. Move it and shift it to, even if it's a, like, let's say I was shopping with my daughter and I'd be like, I just can't afford that right now. I would say to her, not today, maybe another day, but we're not going to grab that today. I haven't said no because I can't afford it out to the universe. I've just given a clear answer. And then you can say to yourself, bring me the abundance for all of my wishes, like, how can I create this? And then listen to the universe for guidance on the ideas. I had an idea about 4 years ago, maybe even longer. Actually, it was probably longer, maybe 5 years ago. And I ran it by a friend and she boo-hooed it. She said, no, that's not a good idea. No, don't do it. So I didn't. And ever since then, things have shown itself to me to move me in that direction. And finally, one day when I took the time to sit in the quiet and listen, I knew I had to create this movement. And so I've created a movement of my own that, is about empowering women and making people feel good, right? Because we don't need any of that negative stuff. We just want people to feel great. And it's funny because I don't really generally have a lot of fear unless it's to do with like a roller coaster or bungee jumping or something, which I'm totally not about. But in business, I have thoughts, but then I kind of shift them pretty quickly and off they go. But I found myself procrastinating and I'm like, I'm a bit of a go-getter. Like, I can do this. I've got the skill set for what I need to create. What am I doing? And I realized it was this underlying fear. So when you feel that, work out why you have the fear. Was it a fear that it wouldn't succeed? I don't believe so. Was it a fear that people would judge me? In the beginning, I feel like that's what it was until I realized that's actually what this whole project is about, is shifting past judgment. Because do you know what? The truth is, they're going to judge you anyway. I've spent all these years trying not to be judged, only to come to the realization that they're going to judge you anyway. So you may as well just be yourself and do your thing. Who cares? Who cares? And you know what? If those people are out there judging you, do you really want them in your life anyway? The answer is a hard no. Energy blocks. Work with modalities like kinesiology. I'm a kinesiologist. I know many of my colleagues are, kinesiologists and work with, frequency healing and many holistic practices. There will be something that you are drawn to. It doesn't even matter what it is. And let me talk to you about something that's super cool. It's something new that I've kind of been drawn to, and that's magnetic mind coaching. In our collaborative within Frequency Soul Collective, we do training once a month with a group of amazing women. They're called the Super Conscious Sisterhood. And they do a free training for us once a month. And it is all about magnetic mind coaching. So my beautiful friend, Ali Robertson, she has done many, many of the magnetic mind work. And so I was just going to invite her on real quick. Ali, are you there?
Hi.
Give everyone a bit of a rest from listening to my voice for 5. Hey, hey, babe, I wanted to ask you, tell me a little bit about your magnetic mind experience, because I know that, well, I think it was you who introduced me to this initially anyway. But now
Yeah.
that we've got this, super conscious sisterhood that share their work with us, so generously, it just might be, something that others might be drawn to as well. So I'd love for you to share your experience with us.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for this. And I've visualized this for so long. And for them now to be coaching us as a team, as on a business training once a month, is just a dream come true for me. I have to tell you, like, I've been doing the super conscious work for nearly 4 years, nearly 5 years now. And it has just changed my life. I just cannot tell you how amazing it is to get structure in your life. We spend so much time trying to put out fires and, just trying to live through the day. But when you find a coach or a group of coaches that can actually help you to step into your power and take your power back and teach you how to, orientate yourself into this world, it is just the most powerful thing ever. It's been amazing. And I think the main thing is you have to have an end result of what it is that you want to create. Doesn't matter what it is in life. You have to have a desire, a burning desire for these things, whether it be health, wealth, business, a love relationship. And a lot of people think, oh, I don't know how to, I don't know what the desire is. I don't know what that end result is. There's a few ways that you can figure this out. It doesn't need to be that hard. And with the Superconscious Sisterhood, they help you to step into that. And it's actually stuff that's written on your heart. It's stuff when they take you on these journeys, it's stuff that you truly didn't realize that you wanted in your life, whether it be your true nature and purpose, or whether it be just living a life that you love. If someone was to ask you, what is living a life you love mean to you? What does that mean to you? A lot of people don't know because they're too busy in the busy lifestyles that we have. We forget that this is a joyful experience and this is like once in a lifetime opportunity to live in this lifetime, and we have to make the most of that. So when I found the super conscious work a couple of years back, I wasn't even in Solex. I had an amazing online business, which you know about, Beck, because I met you in that company, and we were smashing it. And I honestly thought I was living a life I loved at that point in time. I had loads of things going on in my life that was really, really great. But it wasn't until I stepped into the super conscious work that I realized that living a life you love can be in so many different ways. It's not just finance or business or love. And I think that you just have to decide what it is that you want to create in life. You have to, and there's 3 ways to do that. It doesn't have to be hard. You can be really specific. I want, this car, and it won't have to have, like, I don't know, a black BMW. You can be really specific on what it is that you want. Or you can be really general. I just want a new car that drives really well, that keeps me safe and gets me from A to B. That's another way of looking at it. Or you can go with emotions. How would you feel living that life that you love? How would it make you feel? How would you know that you were living this life that you love? What would you be doing? And it's just, honestly, this super conscious work has changed my life. And it was only last year that in the Magnetic Mind community, I managed to connect with these beautiful girls who had all come together. They were certified magnetic mind coaches and decided to create the sisterhood. And it's just beautiful. They've all 5 different coaches that all have their own take on this one modality, if you want to call it. But it's just really amazing to be able to, look at what it is that we actually want, because we don't get a chance to do that, So once you define what it is that you want, and then you need to have a burning desire for it. We are vibrational beings. I don't need to explain that to most of you guys, because most of you on the call know that we're all vibrational beings and everything is frequency and vibration. When you truly embody that and you realize that, then you're sending out these signals to the unified field, and we're creating that, we're drawing this in, and it's the law of attraction. We shouldn't have to try really hard for the things that we want and the things that we love in life. We should attract them. And when you're vibrating at the right frequency, these things will come to you. And that's what's so amazing about it, and you can just define what it is that you want and then really, really focus on that. And Abraham Hicks also says you become what you think about most of the time. What are you spending most of your time thinking about? And same with Bob Proctor. I love Bob Proctor. I followed him for many, many years before he passed away. And he said 5% is strategy, 95% is mindset. What we believe, we can achieve. So if we can see something on the screen of our mind, we can manifest that into our current reality. We just have to believe it. And it was like Rebecca said at the beginning of the call there, you can't set a goal for something that you really don't believe that you can have. Yeah, I want to be a millionaire. I want to have $1 million in the bank. My inner being, I don't feel that, I can't feel that I can have that yet, but I can go back a step. And it's like a lenses, you can go back a step and think, okay, 10 grand a month, I can do that. And then you write affirmations on that. How do you feel? What would the person that had 10 grand a month, how would that make you feel in your business? Like, I'll be honest, I joined my Solex business because I wanted to earn an extra $500 a month. I wanted to take my kids on holiday. I've got a great job. I love what I do. This was just something that I just saw was amazing that can change people's lives when coming to frequencies and vibration, you know?
I love
Um,
that.
I don't know, but yeah, it's just, and I think with the AO scanner, I think the most beautiful, because I have researched so many frequency devices since joining Solex, and I think for me, the thing I love most about the AO scanner is it actually pinpoints our emotions, where we sit with our emotions and what it is that's in our current reality that's causing us to feel like that. Because if we can't come to a place where we can truly embody and feel what's in our heart and what we're trying to create, we'll never create it. It's
Yeah.
just vibration. Everything's frequency and vibration. And then you think about people that, from a really young age, they've come from something and they've come from this really background where they don't have much. And then they've had this vision of a business or whatever it is. And they've spent their whole life for 20, 30, 40 years just having this vision of this business. And then they get the car, they get the houses, they get the love relationship, they get everything that they could ever want. And then they're 40 and then they're like, and then they change their vibration, because instead of the vibration of we need to have that, I want that and I want that, they change their vibration to I need to protect that. Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
instead of vibrating of abundance and vibrating that I want to make my business better or my relationship better or my friendships better, or instead of vibrating at that they've vibrated their whole life, all of a sudden they start vibrating, I need to protect this. And it's a
Yeah.
different vibration. And then they start losing things. And you see that with these millionaires, they
Yeah.
become millionaires and then they lose everything and then they have to build it all again. It's because it's the vibration. It's because it's what they're putting out and what they're putting out to the universe. So what I love about the AO scanner is we can look at the end results, what it is we want to create. The Superconscious Sisterhood girls take you, and there's 4 different pillars to this. So once you've got the 4 pillars and you know what you want in each of them, you can make an affirmation and then add it into the AO scanner and
That's
mind
cool.
sync. And it's just so amazing because then you can listen back to these affirmations, and they're true affirmations that are true to you, that come from your heart. They're written on the walls of your heart because it's true to you. And then you put them into the AO scanner and you listen to your own voice back on the things that you want to create, living this life that you love, living your true nature and purpose, having health and vitality, being the predominant creator of your life. Because at the end of the day, you create your own reality. Everything that's coming to you, you're creating. Whether you believe that or not is another thing, but it's what it is, So the Superconscious Sisterhood has been amazing for me. It's changed my life. I would not be without them. I love them to bits. And the fact that they are now training Frequency Soul Collective once a month, every month on business training, I'm like so excited.
I
Yeah.
know, it's so amazing. Thank you, thank you. And for those who are not familiar with the AO scan, you can literally write it again, like on a post-it note, your affirmations, or grab your chalk pen and write that on your mirror. And it's funny, Ali, one of the things that comes to me as you're talking is that I've worked through beliefs and I've worked through all this stuff for many, many years. And I remember being on one of their calls and they were talking about generational stuff around money. And just before she said it, I thought, I don't have generational stuff about money. Like I've done that, I've been there, done that. Like I don't, there's nothing there. But the truth is that sometimes, well, all the time, your beliefs will come up when you are ready to shift them. And for me that day, the thought that came to me, and I knew the exact relative that it came from, was that women shouldn't out earn men. And that was a generational thing, because you think back in the
Okay.
1920s, 30s, 40s, whatever, women, you just wouldn't, and you shouldn't, because that's just not how it was. Like, our job as women was to be at home and look after the household. Like most women didn't even work. And as I thought that, that's when the trainer actually said, and I was blown away. So, and look, we're not here to sell sisterhood stuff here to you tonight. We're just
Not
showing you
all.
all the tools of the things that have helped us from
Mm.
abundance perspective. And the other one, Ali, that I wanted to share as well was, in the work that I do with frequency medicine, I love it and I love helping people write, but it doesn't fuel my fire like some things have in the past, like when in my younger days. And I thought, does that mean it's not right for me? Does that mean, and the answer was, it wasn't that. It was just that I had to find what fueled my fire to ignite my own business. No matter what your business is, it doesn't even matter. So I'll give you the example. Absolutely drives me and it gives me the biggest fire in my belly is empowering women. I love that more than anything. And now I utilize my skill set to create a following in that then fuels my fire for my other business, which is really cool. So thank you so much, Ali, for sharing your story and your journey. I'm super, super grateful. That's just awesome.
Yeah,
Super.
and I just love that. I love the AO scanner for that. It's so much fun to be able to build a business with this. You know, I do that with my clients all the time. You know, I have clients come down and I say, what is a life that you love? And then when we unpack that and they finally find something, they write an affirmation on what it is
Yes.
that they want and
Yeah.
why they want it. And then they play it and I put it into the software and I send it to them and they get to listen to that every day. And then it brings their confidence up and then they start attracting this stuff, and it's just so much fun.
That's so cool. I love that. And I'm going to share actually, for those of you who have never heard of MindSync before, we're going to share a little bit around that as well, as to what MindSync is, because it is an affirmation programming tool that delivers affirmations of your own voice through a binaural process. So you're actually speaking the words, but you're actually getting frequency at the same time. And it's also back to music. So the binaural process is a cognitive process that combines a different auditory information presented to each ear. So in MindSync, the auditory differential is 8 hertz in each ear. And this creates a third message in the center of the brain that supersedes the subconscious barrier. You think that saying affirmations is powerful? Try doing it this way. It is phenomenal. So although you will find tools that support the practice of affirmations, there is no other tool like this. So I always say affirmations plus frequency equals abundance. So I've got a
For
really cool
years, I felt
story.
like I was trapped in a dark room, and there was no way that I knew of to get out. And then I started using MindSync consistently, and I started doing things that I loved again, and feeling a love for life again, playing the saxophone and playing the piano again, taking pictures. I love taking pictures and reading, and it almost felt like with MindSync, light just flooded that dark room.
It's so funny. I've known Jake for quite some time and he is such a good guy. And he used to hide that really well, his depression. And to see that spark come back in him was almost like seeing a new person. It was just really phenomenal to see that. And MindSync is something that people, one of our practitioners can do for you, or it is something you can do yourself. And the other thing is too, the subtle energy frequency side of things, where we're moving into an abundance group in March. Actually, we're starting tomorrow and we're going right through. And what this does is we actually have different frequencies that we run to people to actually change the frequency of what's going on within their body. So I channel this as well. So this is one that I've channeled for, we do different ones each week. So abundance, wealth, and success. Concentration, determination, and finish, because no matter what your goal is in abundance, you need concentration, determination, and finish. Confidence, self-esteem, and love. Energetic clearing, because if you're holding on to a frequency that doesn't serve you, we want to clear that. Like, let's get rid of that, and then let's shield your body, shield you to actually be able to protect your energy. Yeah. Love, forgiveness, and gratitude. Yes. Prosperity. Complete frequency set will grab onto anything that, we may not have put in here that your body might be needing. Perfect health. Who doesn't want that? Relationship enhancement, success, inner peace. Because, all of the things we can look outside ourselves for that we want in abundance, if we don't have inner peace, then we really don't, and same as perfect health, we really don't have a lot, right? Accelerated learning, self-confidence and self-esteem, and then memory, focus, and clarity. So these are the ones that have come up for us for the month of March. So we're pretty excited about that. So I hope that you've enjoyed the call tonight. Honestly, it's just a free call that I wanted to put on to share a bit of wisdom, I guess, about abundance with you. So I hope you feel inspired to shift into March, whether it be for yourself or with us. You are more than welcome to join us in the Thrive Tribe through Frequency Soul Collective on a 21-day Mastering Abundance challenge starting tomorrow. Normally it's $159 for anyone on the call or watching the replay. We are happy to do that just for $111 for you. And what you will get is personalized emotional balance scan weekly to listen to your frequencies to balance out anything emotionally going on for you. You will actually get one mind sync to listen to for the entire 21 days as well. And each, whoever you're working with, so whoever's invited you to this call or shared it with you today, please go back to them if you wish to, but absolutely no obligation. And they will actually personalize those affirmations for you based on what it is that you're wanting to bring in. You'll also get daily coaching, encouragement, and reminders in a specific chat group that we have on Facebook, all equaling, of course, an abundant life. So again, affirmations and frequencies equal abundance. Oh, I went past one, sorry. So just some closing thoughts. Abundance is your birthright. It is always available to you. Please don't think that you have to go through the hard times and the suffering to get to the good stuff, because you do not. That's a very much human way of thinking. That is not how it is. The key is to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with abundance. Commit to daily practices that elevate your energy and your mindset. Take one action today towards creating your abundant life. So that's what I would encourage you to do. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. It's so lovely to have each and every one of you on here. And I really honor you for showing up tonight. And for those of you who are watching the replay, and remember, the universe is infinitely abundant, and so am I. So you can say that to yourself regularly every single day. So connect with us for more tools and support in mastering your abundance. And we are going to leave it there for now. So thank you again for joining us. We hope you have an absolutely phenomenal weekend, and we will look forward to seeing you on our next call. So thank you and good evening.